Hello, folks. It's Matt Roy here. Connor and I wanted to do some civics training around stuff that you can include with the federal election, but the timing is just proving to be too difficult considering we're going to be like doing the week one, week two, and the election is coming so fast. So we thought we just sent out some resources that you can use, try and squeeze in right now, or to use just before the federal election or just after the federal election, depending on when your classes are going. So we hope these can be of some help to you. The big one I want to focus on is running a student vote at your school, which some of you are already set up for, because that kind of is an experiential thing that I think would be pretty cool for students to do. So let me just provide a little commentary on a couple of these and show you how the links can work. The first one that I'd suggest is there's a Canada Votes segment on the National every night. You can look up the National on YouTube, so the CBC flagship news program from the night before. So you can check out the Canada Votes segment on the National, and that's always a fun one to start class with or to break up stuff in class a little bit and give students some of the horse race stuff about the lead up to the election. If you want to have your students research political parties, there's some really good tools. There's some of the links we sent you yesterday. There's a bit that's been updated. So this one is called Polonize. It's just been published. And if you have a look at that, it has all the major parties. And within those parties, you could click on, say, the Bloc Québécois. Not that that's one that students are very concerned with here. And it actually has some stuff on the leader, and then it has things broken down into issues. So where does the block sit on environment, pharmacare, immigration, transportation and transit, housing and affordability? And you can just click on any of those and students will get some information about the party's platform and priorities for those particular things. So that can be pretty useful because this is written with the intent of students being able to read and understand it. I've also included from the 2019 election a kind of a research document that you can have students use, prints out on nice big paper, and they can use the Polonize site, and then they can use these political party profiles document, and they can use that in order to do some research on information on the different political parties, which can be kind of a good way to encapsulate the political parties that are out there. You could have students create their own political party, which is a really interesting way to frame some of what's going on there. So there's an assignment that I used in 2019 called the Political Party Summative Assignment. I used it as kind of a big one in the civics course where students had to create their own party branding and choose key issues and choose a party leader and stuff like that. And there's a couple of rubrics there if you want. They're in Word format, so you can chop them up and change them however you want. There's one that is for formative stuff, where you can do like a peer assessment thing with it, and then a final rubric. And I'll just show you, I had students create websites using this drag and drop website program called Weebly for Education. And so students created things like the Action Party, and they had to have the leader, the platform. So you can see students creating like the, choosing the key things for the platform. And they also had to include information on funding so they could learn more about how money interacts with politics and the effects of money on politics. So you could have them do this in a PowerPoint, you could have them do it by hand, whatever you want, but it kind of gives students an idea of how the sausage is made when it comes to the political stuff, the machinations behind the scenes. Now the big one, student vote event. So here's how it works. The 3 high schools have already got all the stuff you'll need that has been ordered. So the stuff you're going to get are ballots that will be local to the riding that you're in. You're also going to get voting screens, and you're going to get a whole bunch of other materials that they'll be sending to you. Joan and Suzanne at Hammarskjold and Superior had already requested stuff for your classes, so that may be at the school already. We ordered a bit of extra stuff, so people at those schools will get them. They're probably still coming to Joan and to Suzanne. And Sandra ordered for all of Westgate. So the people that are bolded there, you're going to want to talk to those people about those materials. They have already been ordered, but they probably won't be arriving until mid to late next week. So if you have your class next week, on Friday, you can do your event, and if you won't see them until the week after, you could do it on election day, on the Monday. If you want a hand and you'd like Connor or I to be in the building when you're doing that, and just give you some support with that, we're really happy to do that. That's all from the studentvote.ca site, and really cool for students to have this kind of experiential thing where they can run, experience what it's like to have that election. I've also made some voter cards. So if you open this tab, you're going to get a document that has some sample voter cards. And if you print out the whole thing two-sided, there's two voter cards that are appearing now. There's two voter cards on each page. So you can print these out two-sided, cut them up on the paper cutter, and then give them to your students and help them learn what a voter card looks like when it arrives in the mail. And so then they can actually use this and bring this when they come and do the voting. What I might recommend is having half your class vote and half your class run the polling station, and then switch. And so the kids get the experience of what it's like to come with their voter card and vote, and they also get the experience of what it's like to be on the other side, being someone who's managing the priorities in the voting station. I've also got a PowerPoint here called Voting Roles. So if you are interested in using that, you can talk to your students about the different kinds of roles that you'll have in a polling station: the information officer, the returning officer, the poll supervisor, and the party scrutineer. And you can assign those roles to students, to that half of your class that's running the polling. And I think that gives them a really good experience of them being in charge of managing the vote, and understanding it from multiple angles. So I hope those resources help you run your student vote, and make that easy and smooth for you. Finally, stuff you can do after the election. We use a first past the post system, but there are lots of other good systems that can create a more stable democracy. So there's an activity here about the proportionality of our votes, and comparing our votes to how many seats did a party get versus what was their percentage of the popular vote. So that can be really interesting to see how our first past the post system skews the votes, and how you can win a majority with only like 38% of the popular vote. And there's some resources to help students learn about alternative systems. So I recommend using a Jigsaw system, but you could use for teaching that, but you could use whatever you want. There's a site from Maclean's that uses little cartoons to show a whole bunch of the different options here. So it starts with first past the post. Some of these do get pretty complicated. So I would say, you kind of just have to think about how complicated you want to get with it. The one that was suggested by the All Parties Committee for back in, what was it, 2016, I think, was mixed member proportional. So I've actually put a mixed member proportional one on a separate page that you can print it and cut out if you want to use that. And that's the next handout there. And a template if you want students to do a little bit of research using those jigsaws, or however you want to do it, into different electoral systems, how they work, and some of the advantages and disadvantages using those cartoons. So we hope this is helpful and gets you set up to do some stuff before and after the federal election. Obviously, the timing is weird with us flipping from one class to another and the election coming so fast and furious, but hopefully these resources are useful to you, and hopefully you're able to run a student vote event either on the Friday before the election or on the 20th, which is election day. And again, get in touch with us if you need a hand in terms of running this experiential activity for your class, where they get to make their voices heard and make their vote. Good luck, everybody. I hope things are well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.